All right. So here we are. We'll edit out the beginning of all that from the
Maybe,
saved
maybe
version,
not.
hopefully. But I'm Paulina Cossette. I'm here with the lovely and talented Jennifer Polk of From PhD to Life. How are you, Jennifer, my friend?
Jennifer, you can call me Jen. If you're writing it down on a piece of paper, Jennifer is better, but Jen is cool. I'm good. I'm a little tired, but I'm okay. I'm happy to be here. Yeah, I'm happy to be here. How are you?
So, me too. I'm always happy to get together with you. And we decided a few days ago that we would get together maybe once a week ish and just talk about what it's like to live life after academia. And we don't really have anything solid planned. We have some ideas of things to talk about each week, but we're just going to kind of sit here and shoot the shiz. And that's our channel. We can say whatever we want, right?
I've already
So we're
sworn.
going
I already swore, so yeah, unless you cut it
to
out, I already swore.
we're gonna sit here and talk, and people, there are three people watching now, so that's more than us. So welcome to whoever is here.
Uh-oh.
Please feel free to introduce yourselves and say hello. If you have a question, if you have, you know, popcorn to throw at us or whatever you want to do, go for it. We're here for it. And let's dive in. Ready?
Yeah.
All
I've
right.
already closed YouTube, so I won't see any comments. Maybe I should open
Okay.
it.
Well, I can read them if somebody
Okay, okay, you do it.
somebody.
You do it.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Or open it if you want. That's fine. All right. So I was saying before we started here that I had a really great phone call with somebody today who's going to be enrolling. Well, she just enrolled in my program, and she's a teacher, and she's interested in becoming a book coach. And when we got on the Zoom call, she was just so excited. And she was saying to me, she's already sort of doing book coaching just with some friends or, people she's been connected to who are working on writing a book, finishing a book. And she was telling me like she gave this advice and she was just so excited. You could see that it just was lighting her up, this idea of doing this work, which to me, of course, just feels so good to know that I'm helping people, along that journey. But the thing that really had held her back so far was this feeling that she wasn't ready or that she had to have all her ducks in a row before she could commit to actually starting a business or taking that next step. So that's what we thought we'd chat about today is what does it mean to feel ready? Can you ever be ready? How do we work with people in our respective post academia, alt academia programs to get through that feeling and that struggle of being ready? So what does that look like for you, Jen, in your work?
Man, I'm making faces at myself because as you're talking, I'm realizing that I have this struggle too.
True.
You know me.
True. It's true.
My excuse is I'm detail oriented. That's my excuse. But yeah, I think it's a real challenge because, and it comes from, I think, a place of thoughtfulness. I mean, that's one of the ways one of the places it comes from is people being thoughtful and wanting to do this right, at the right time and take it seriously, right? Yeah, they want to keep saying right. They want to take it seriously. So they want to come into something feeling ready. Of course, well, as you and I know, the the truth is that the work that you and I do with our clients is about getting people ready to do the thing, and get them doing the thing, including getting them ready to do the thing. Like, circular argument, but that's like that's the whole work. So, like, come as you are. Come as you
Yeah, the
are.
work is doing the thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I think I love what you said about how the use a different, people are sort of conscientious, right? Like the kinds of people who come to us are thoughtful, they're kind, they don't want to get into starting a coaching business or taking on a new job in industry or whatever, wherever they land. They don't want to do that and then do a bad job because they don't want to let people down. And so they
Yeah.
feel like they have to prepare and to study and to know all the things before they even know what it is they're going to be doing. Um, and so, first of all, amazing that we get to work with people like that, right? Because it's not always the case in academia. And then, secondly, I love what you said that, the work that we do is doing the thing, right? And that we are helping people along as they navigate and figure out this journey.
It reminds me too of, so this isn't the nature of my business anymore, but if years ago, what I did in my business was primarily one-on-one coaching, and I would have clients that I would speak with kind of over a period of time. We'd have a bunch of sessions over a period of time, and the whole point was to like move you forward on whatever it is you're trying to do. In my case, probably get a job, career, figure that out, whatever it is. And what would happen though is even folks that had like a package, a series of meetings with me, um, that they had to schedule, sometimes what would happen is clients would cancel, postpone, not book the next one. And I realized kind of pretty quickly, like, oh, if I haven't seen someone in a while, that's when I need to reach out and say, like, this is exactly the time when we should talk. Because the excuse that they would give me, and I mean that in a genuine way, is, well, I haven't done the work that we talked about last time. I haven't done the homework. And my reaction to that as a coach is, well, either I sucked at my job or something changed, right? Something changed. And so this is exactly the time when we need to get back together, work out what it is that you need to be doing, that you will actually do, not because you want to be a good student, working with me as your coach, but because it's actually what you need to do to move yourself forward. Does that make sense?
It does. And, people, of course, people before they commit to enrolling in my program, they want to know, or they want to have some degree of confidence that they're going to be successful, that this is going to work for them. And they hear the testimonials of so and so did this or so and so had this success. And is it going to work for me? Can I do this? And I always tell them, like, I can't honestly tell you, is it going to work specifically for you? But what I can tell you is that the people who struggle, the people who don't succeed, are the ones who quit, which sounds obvious, but that's like the biggest marker of failure, quote unquote, is that they get into it, they get scared. And I'm not talking about people who, like you said, sometimes things change, maybe they change their mind, they realize to go a different direction. But for the people who get in there and this is truly what they want, but they just let the fear get in the way, I think, and they're not willing to take those steps to get ready or to become ready, they're the ones who end up not making it in the long run. Do you see that kind of thing?
Yeah, it's a big sigh, right? Yeah. Yeah, and it's so easy to get in your head around all of this stuff. It's so easy to get in your head around this stuff, but you do have to take risks, small risks, right? And the right risks. But it does, yeah, you do have to take risks. But I mean, if the beauty of working with us or whoever you want to work with, take a course, whatever it is that you're not just by yourself in your own head. You actually have some structure, support, resources, tools, like whatever it is, whatever program or help that you're getting. Um, and please like lean on that stuff, that person, those tools, those resources. I feel like I'm veering from the point here. Help me out.
Well, my next question was going to be like, so if you're here, if you decide, okay, I don't feel ready, but I'm going to go for it and try it anyway with the help of a coach, whoever that may be, I'm curious when people do join your program, how do you help them do the things, right? How do you help them, or what does that journey look like for them when to the getting to the point of actually feeling ready, like, okay, I can do this.
Yeah, so it's interesting. A few years back, I mean, I do this regularly, but I remember one conversation in particular a few years ago with one of my program members. We both run programs, and I remember her telling me that when she joined, she felt hope, and that's struck me because, oh, of course, right? Like, I wasn't necessarily like thinking in those terms, but yeah, she felt hope and she felt that she could trust herself. And she felt, in a way, it's readiness, but it's readiness to step into the unknown, to right start taking risks. It's feeling ready to be okay not being ready. You know? Am I making sense?
Well, I'm wondering what, like, in a more concrete sense, what is your obviously it's very detailed, your process of working with people, but like, what is the journey that they go on? Are you're initially exploring with them their interests, and maybe as they start to learn more about their options, or how do they what is the journey that you take them on to kind of figure out what they want to do next?
Yeah, sure. Okay, cool. I can answer this question. Thanks for bringing me back to earth here. Um, yeah, you're asking me about how the advice that I give my clients in terms of what does it take to figure out what you want to do for a job, career, and then get there. And where I recommend that folks start, and I teach this in a free webinar, by the way, you don't have to pay me money to get this advice, um, is start with how you think about yourself. And you can put on your academic hat and do a little reflecting on what do you think about yourself? What do you say about yourself? But that's like a specific example. But in general, yeah, I recommend starting with yourself, figuring out like what do you value? What's important to you? What are your skills? What are your strengths? All of that. Where do you want to live? How much money you want to make? Like, I really think it's important to start with yourself so that you can ground yourself in that knowledge and those insights and that kind of confidence in a way before you go out and explore possibilities, by which I mean like reading job ads and doing informational interviews and doing job interviews and applying to things. Where folks can go really wrong is they very quickly decide, oh, I have a PhD in X and therefore I should do jobs A, B, and C. And they start like trying to put together application packages and it's extremely uncomfortable and doesn't work, right? Because you haven't actually gotten in touch with really who you are now as a person and from there what that means doing. Am I answering your question now?
Yeah, it's funny. I did exactly what you just described with, like, well, I have a PhD in political science, so here's the list of jobs that I could apply for, struck out completely. I think I got a couple offers from local, like a town office. The town office in Bar Harbor offered me a job or something, and I was like, no, this is not right for me. So it wasn't a complete failure, but it wasn't what I wanted. It wasn't where I wanted to be. It wasn't the next step of my life journey that I wanted to go on. So, I love what you just said about who is the person that you are now. And maybe people don't know, right? There's so much that changes when you make that decision and you finally leave academia, that you really change as a human being. Your priorities change, your joy in life goes up significantly. um and I think, I go through a similar process with people in my program. Is we start with the question of, who do you want to support and what problems do you want to help them solve? And so it's not even about, do you have editing skills? Would you be a better copy editor, a developmental editor, or a coach? It's who do you want to work with for the foreseeable future. Um, so it's kind of interesting. As much as we've talked, I've never really made that connection before, but it's kind of similar, I think. Um, yeah. Oh, I know. Did you want to say anything else on that? I had something else I
No,
was gonna say too.
please, please.
Um, on the, coming back to that question of being ready, um, another way that I look at it is so much about this journey that we go on is experimentation and testing and trying different things to see what works. Trying out working as a copy editor on a few projects and seeing if you like it, trying out doing some coaching and seeing if you like it, and realizing that you can't ever really be ready because you don't know what you're going to like to do. You kind of have to test it out and see what happens and then go back and make changes. Does that ring true
Yeah.
for you?
Yeah, and where one place that this shows up is so I work with PhDs, so I'll just say PhDs who maybe with less self-reflection and research, let's say, I'll just say self-reflection, with less self-reflection than they might have done, gravitate toward doing some sort of more school, more school, credentials. I mean, sometimes a whole other degree, a boot camp, for example, and spending either a lot of money or signing up to spend a lot of time on earning, doing a thing without having first clarified what it is that they want to do. And I'm talking like $10,000, 6 months, 3 years, right? Like this is, yeah. So if I would give folks advice, it would be before you kind of jump on the next thing that seems like it's right and that it gives you purports anyways to give you a structure with guarantees, do some thinking about what you actually care about, what you actually want your life to be like. um yeah, before you just go head first into like the next seemingly sure thing. Am I making sense?
Yeah, I think there are a lot of people out there who think they need an extra certification or I mean, so many academics come to me and are convinced that they won't be able to get paid to edit papers unless they get an editing certificate. And from what I've heard from the academics who've gotten editing certificates, they're all like, "Yeah, it was okay, but it wasn't like anything life-changing." And
Yeah.
so I think we really have a lot of the skills and knowledge we need to be successful. It's just like you're saying, we have to do the figuring out of who we want to be and what we want our life to look like on this next journey.
Yeah, absolutely. It's such a default for folks like us to, oh, more school. And that education is good, right? Like capital G good. And not saying it isn't, but sometimes doing some self-reflection exercises, maybe for free with a library book, is going to pay off. And then you can invest as
Yeah,
needed.
and talking to people who
Oh,
do it,
yeah,
who do whatever you want to do.
absolutely. Yeah,
Cool.
absolutely.
Well, I will call this a amazing success for our very first live stream. I think this was riveting. We just gave you fantastic advice for free. If you want more of Jen, where should they go to download your to get your free webinar?
Shout out to the dog behind you, Paulina.
At least it's not a
Um,
kid. I'm waiting for a kid to come run up and scream.
kid in their underwear. No, no, no. Um, where should people find me? Yeah, so I have a YouTube channel, which presumably will be linked up to here at some point. But the main place I live online is from PhD to life.com, all spelled out in words from PhD to life.com. And on that website, you'll be able to find my free webinar, which you can sign up for and get about 80 minutes of me giving you advice on what to do if you're in a position of figuring out what it is that you maybe want to do after leaving academia, or maybe you already left academia and took that job for the local council and realized, nope, this ain't it. What is right? I work with lots of those folks too.
Awesome. Yeah. I'm glad I didn't take that because I would have realized I had made a terrible mistake. But and if you want to access the 3-day free training that I gave last week, it's all about how to start thinking about how to establish your niche, who you want to support and what problems you can help them solve, how to price your services and land your first clients. You can go to acadiaediting.com/live and get that. And tune in next Monday at noon Eastern, I think we said. Tentatively, we'll let y'all know what's happening. But noon Eastern on Mondays, I think is what we said we were gonna go for,
So
right?
maybe not until August 3rd.
Oh
Maybe not
yeah.
until
Yeah,
August
yeah,
3rd,
yeah.
right?
Well, follow us and we will follow us everywhere because I mean, hello.
Follow us everywhere.
Um we will notify folks on how to get to us. And now I've got to figure out how to turn this thing off.
Thank you. Thank you to your various family members for not.
Oh, probably the